When you lie, lie next to me. When you lie. Jeez, that is kind of on theme, I guess, for this particular episode, as we are talking about. Oh, wait, let me do the intro actually first. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Double O Late Night Show. Listen, all my friends laughed at me for this one, okay? Which is normal, you know, they laughed at me when I was like, I'm gonna interview bands, and they're like, you don't know enough people. We're on season 2 now, you know? They laughed at me when I said, I'm gonna make a music video. And look at 5 years later, look at where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, this summer, I've named it Big Boy Summer, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Big Boy Summer is upon us. I know everyone was laughing at me, saying, Owen, what are you talking about, you know? Listen, trigger warning for like dietary stuff, I apologize. But this is, you should have seen the title. In the title, it does say Big Boy Summer, so, you know. It's also fun to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I am eating more calories than I've ever ate before. Okay, at a healthy rate. I've gone up, I'm tracking. But yeah, man, we're getting big this summer, okay? For 2 reasons, ladies and gentlemen. One reason is because we're gonna shred next year. So next year it's gonna be Hot Boy Summer, because you know I'm going to the gym more, stuff like that. So next year is Hot Boy Summer, and I want to be peak double O health at 21. You know, I've been underweight my whole life, and people normally associate me with being, you know, smaller than I want them to. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to eat more. But the bad thing about Big Boy Summer is we're being super superficial. Again, I apologize if you're not into me being super superficial. I get that. But this is more of a health thing as well, so, you know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm gaining weight, I've noticed this in the past as well. All my weight, I swear to God, all the fat goes to my cheeks. I swear to God, ladies and gentlemen. You can look back to, you know, a couple years ago. And none of it goes to my arms. That's all I want, you know? You know what, I'm working on that every day, but, you know, it's a long process. And next year is gonna be sick, for real. Yeah, but seriously, Big Boy Summer is gonna be great. And I've never really had a gut. And I came back from drinking one day, and I had a gut. And I was so happy. I had a belly for a bit, and I was like, this is sick, you know? I'm just happy right now, bro, for real. I was a little sad today, actually, because I was on a bus. Every time I get on this bus, ladies and gentlemen, I get closer to just going, fuck it, I'm paying for petrol and driving, you know? Every time I've gone on this bus, I have a worse and worse experience. But it's okay. Double O on the Low Season 2 starts next week releasing, you know? We're doing one interview a week, I think. Yeah. Because I was going to do every 2 weeks. I think that's better, personally, for promoting. But by the time this video comes out, I would have interviewed all the bands. I feel bad making them wait like 2 months before releasing their episode. So I'm going to release every one week after week, you know? Yeah, it's going to be great. And then at the end of Double O on the Low Season 2, big Double O project, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited for this one. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. Working my ass off right now for it. Speaking on projects and stuff, the trailer for Double O on the Low comes out on Monday, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm like deciding on what song to put behind it. There was 2 options for me. There's a new song, and then there's kind of what we did with The City and the Double O Late Night Show intro. It's between the adjusted song, which is The Mountain, and this new one. I'll tell you the adjusted one first, actually. The adjusted song, and the one I'm probably gonna go for, is an adjusted version of The Mountain. It's an old classic, kind of like The City. It was on the same EP as that. And, well, the only EP I have. But ladies and gentlemen, we're changing some of the lyrics, and we're changing some of the instrumental to be a bit more rocky rolly, you know? That's my project for the weekend, by the way. I gotta mix and master and revamp the whole thing and re-record vocals and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna be changing the lyrics from I'm anti-social, social to Double O on the Low or something like that. Double O on the Low, you know, like boba tea. It's gonna be great, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be, it truly is gonna be peak, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me when I say that. Double O on the Low. It's just gonna be the verse and chorus, but we have a new trailer dropping with it, and then that's gonna be the whole intro to it. So Double O on the low, production value is skyrocketing right now. That's gonna be great. Speaking of My World EP1, actually, I'm going off the dome right now, but Double O EP, My World merch, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. With the back design being what it was gonna be if I got some vinyl. There's the back, it's cool. It's the first EP, produced by 16-year-old me. If you want to get it, you can, ladies and gentlemen. This is a grape. Smells good. But maybe that's because I was wearing it earlier. But oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, this is a classic. I like this graphite heather. This is the graphite heather one. Look at that. Isn't that sick? Look at that shit. That's so cool. I designed this. I'm just glazing myself. Get the merch, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful piece. Oh my god. Lovely merch. We're gonna do a merch shoot as well at some point to like properly. I don't know why I'm telling you this. No, but I'm gonna play you the other song that I was deciding between the mountain, because I've had this in my like notes for like since 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you'll be like, oh, and you should have kept it in your notes, but let me play it to you first. Originally, this was good. I was so set in stone about this song, being the intro song. And then I had the mountain idea and I was like, well, I still want to do this song. And then I thought about like how changing the antisocial lyrics to double O on the low, or whatever it's gonna be. Double O on the low. I feel like that's kind of a nice message, because the original lyrics being I'm antisocial to, changing them to being a double O on the low, when double O on the low is kind of the opposite of me being antisocial and interviewing people. I think that's a nice contrast of the original idea from me being in COVID and not talking to anyone to having the talk show and stuff like that. Okay, I don't really know all the lyrics, which will become very clear, but I know the main ones, Go double O, ba-da-da, no I'll follow you. Go double O, I'm counting it. Jump to the left and follow your goals. You're so cynical, something. Just go double O. Something like that, ladies and gentlemen. Go double O, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Go double O, ba-da-da. I can't play guitar. Whenever I'm just writing a song, I always do the most basic strumming pattern and stuff, just for this is just for me when finding vocal melodies within chords, Songwriters, you know what I'm talking about, But yeah, something like that. If anyone wants to steal the song, fuck you, please don't. That would be really rude, okay? Because I made that song 5 minutes in 2023, so yeah, man, for real. So those are the two options, but I had this thought after thinking about it for 10 minutes. It was embarrassing. What if I took that song, let it cook in my brain for a bit longer, and ladies and gentlemen, we use that song for double O on the go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Go double O on double O on the go. Word. How did I not think of that? It's called Go double O. That is if I ever release a double O on the go, which every time I'm gonna vlog this trip or whatever, double O on the go, something bad happens. Or if it's in case of the solo trip, I just couldn't be bothered because I wanted to enjoy the experience. But, I started thinking about it and I was like, I should not be trying to enjoy experiences anymore. Everything is content. I'm kidding. Now, we were talking about songwriting, and I just gave a live demonstration of how I songwrite. But sorry, I'm just pulling this straight from my notes because I realized these two things that I wanted to talk about. A lot of my friends ask me, they say, double O, when are you gonna write a song about me? And it's really awkward because it's we're just good friends, No offense, but you don't inspire me to write a song. There's no strong emotion that I have towards you, which is a good thing, because that's how good friends should be. We have great times together, we have pleasant times together. But, I can't really write a song about that. Well, I can, but it would be a really bad song, because my heart wouldn't be in it, So, ladies and gentlemen, I was in Barcelona, right? And two of my friends were there. We're in this very famous plaza having dinner. Two of my friends. They were on a girls trip together, and I was solo traveling, so we linked up they asked me, Owen, why haven't you wrote a song about us, you know? And I always ask, why do you want me to? You know, we're just good friends, you know? You don't inspire me. Well, I didn't say that, but you know. And they told me, well, Owen, you're the only one we know who would. And it's like, damn. Imagine not having a bunch of musicians as friends. Another friend who was actually on the same Barcelona trip, surprisingly. She joined us later, her and her sister. It was like a triple trip crossover moment. It was beautiful. It was amazing. Great time. Anyway, she asked me at a bar once. She was like, Owen, double low, why have you never wrote a song about me? And I went like this. Girl, all my songs are about you. I said that. Straight lie, by the way. I've never like thought about writing a song. But you gotta keep the fans happy. You gotta keep the fans happy. Anyway, that was funny because then she posted on her story. She was like, I think she knew I was joking, hopefully, but she was like, Owen just said all his songs were about me, which is funny because I wrote a whole EP before I met her. But yeah, she said all my songs were about her, and then one of my other friends messaged me and was like, yo, did you actually write all your songs about her? And I was like, bro, no, I said that as a joke, you know? I say that to everyone. If it's not, why do you want me to write a song about you? It's, what are you talking about? All my songs about you. I've already done it, you know? To be honest, I think I've said this before in like a really old video where I think I talked about, I think it was the Ocean lyric analysis video. Hey, if you saw that video, or I think it might be still up, but if you've seen that video, that's very funny. My audio settings are horrible. I don't think you can hear me speak in that video, but that kind of means that I've been saying that for 4 years now, ladies and gentlemen. Since I was 16, I was like, all my songs are about you. That's why I said that to people, bro. Oh my god. To be fair though, I think someone has asked if I wrote a song about them. And I said that thing to them, that all my songs are about them. And at least one of my songs was probably about them, you know? Being like dead ass serious. Like, I think that has actually happened. Oh. I don't like that, actually. Oh god, okay, lock anyone. No, none of my songs are about anyone. Merch link in bio. Merch link in bio, ladies and gentlemen. Get your Double O merch. Thank you so much for watching this Double O late night show. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I was semi-entertaining. If not, I don't like you. So, who cares? This is top quality content, ladies and gentlemen. I just freeballed for like 30 minutes there.